Welcome to the Gift is Free, man. It's your boy DQ. Back with another episode. I'm here with my man Trey as usual. We got Malik Washington in the building, man. Very special guest. Excited to have this little interview real quick. I ain't gonna take up too much of his time. I just want to get a couple questions by real quick and get on out your way. First things first, man. How you doing? How's it going?
Good. Blessed to be here in the position I'm in. You feel me? God been working a lot in my life recently. Just blessed to be where I'm at.
Yeah, man. He definitely been working a lot. You got a lot that's on your plate right now, man. I was going to ask you, that was one of the first questions I was going to ask you, how you've been kind of dealing with the adjustment of everything that's been going on with like the influx of attention and kind of having to focus on your schoolwork while all of this extra stuff is going on in the background.
I just kind of feel like the extra always going to be there. Regardless of what I'm doing, it's going to be extra stuff happening anyways. Mm-hmm. So I want to focus on what's going to get me to that next level, which is going to start with school. Mm-hmm. And then as far as everything else goes, I kind of just leave it up to God, let him handle it, follow the plan in my life.
Yeah, that's our other special guest.
That's our other special guest.
That's our other special
With a boxing glove.
What? You got a glove now. As you can see, there's many sports that go around in the crib, you know what I'm saying? Full booth right there.
All right.
But
shout out to Deuce.
Shout out to Deuce.
You know
what I'm saying? I knew he was gonna have a special appearance from him at some point during the interview. But I mean, kind of talk about that a little bit. You know what I mean? Seeing Deuce running around and
it's only right. He's #1 fan.
Yeah. You gotta
biggest supporter.
Right. See him at all the games, acting crazy, running up and down the sideline.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Talk about kind of having, him and Carmen, your sister, having them around and being kind of an influence to them while you're going through this process.
It's a big thing, I feel like they kind of look up to me. Deuce is still too young to really understand what's going on, but I know Carmen definitely does. And when Deuce looks back, he'll realize, the kind of example that I set.
Right.
I just want to lead them down the right path.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what's up.
I mean, it's just a pleasure of mine just from the outside looking in and just seeing that how you just embrace, like you were just talking about, being a student athlete first, athlete after that, you know what I'm saying? And then it's just like, sometimes do you feel like it's hard to balance the two?
Oh yeah, nah, it's not easy at all. Like being a student athlete and trying to be, high caliber at whatever sport you're playing is difficult. You just kind of got to time manage, ask for help. That's one thing I had to learn how to do was ask for help. Nobody wants to see you fail. So if you sit there, you ask for help, teachers and things like that, most of the time, they look out for you because they understand what you're going through. Like, the process itself isn't easy at all, but you just kind of got to keep working through it. Heard a good quote today. It was like, things don't get easier, you just get better at doing the difficult things. And it's just, I kind of take that to heart.
Yeah, that's a good quote right there.
That's a good one.
Very appropriate for the time.
Yeah,
I'm definitely taking that. I'm taking that.
I'll
use that tomorrow. Probably tell Jackson that when they wake up.
When they wake up.
Like,
hey,
look, man, something came to my mind last night. I just want to let you know real quick. No, man, but that's dope, man. And to kind of go through that process, how has the adjustment been? Because you go to a private school, you attend Spalding, and how has the adjustment been year by year? With the increase in workload at Spalding, being in a private school, and obviously you're having ambitions of going to the next level. Have you kind of, I would say, kind of scheduled yourself and made your schedule around what you're going towards in college, or have you not got there yet?
Yeah, it's kind of how we run our program in our school in general. Like, it's really college preparatory, whether it's practices or, schoolwork and things like that, and how your teachers hand out assignments early and let you know due dates. So it's kind of really preparing me for that already. So I feel like when I get to college, I'll be fine because it's what I'm used to. Mm-hmm. And as far as like, the workload goes like year by year, you just kind of gotta deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna decrease your workload because you're like, well, I'm having a hard time. I'm not the first person to do all this. I'm not gonna be the last.
Right.
So it's, you just gotta make it work.
Yeah, I got you.
So it's in school, like, because you usually have those two types of people. You have like your math, science type of person, or more like your English arts kind of person.
Math,
what do you feel like you fall on the math science side of it? Okay.
Math science. I like to see things, kind of plan out, work out. When I feel like there's nothing better when you're going through math problems. You like, oh yeah, I got this one. Like English, I don't know about English.
Yeah.
So I like to read, but I don't like grammar and all that stuff. I never really understood it.
Right. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I'm also on the grammar side. You can miss me with all of that, the numbers and all that. I was good on that. But no, that's dope too. And that's something that you take into the next level too. You're thinking about staying in that type of field for college as well?
It's probably either marine biology or like sports medicine. One of the two, to pick up in college.
Okay. That's what's up. Yeah, I just want, first and foremost, we had to be formal, get the school out the way. Now that we've got that part out the way, the competitive side. Obviously, me being on the outside looking in and being on the inner fold in certain points of, certain points of your career. seeing where you started in 8th grade, where I seen, parents questioning whether you could even play quarterback and wondering what was the decision that was made and questioning why. And now you look at from where you're at in the 8th grade and playing in your final year with all your boys, and now you look where you're at now. What do you kind of think about that when you look back? Do you ever think about that, like, or you just kind of just been taking it year by year, just continually progressing?
Really kind of taking it year by year, but stuff like that, just keeps me motivated, keeps me ready. Because it's like, at one point, people thought, oh, he's not going to play quarterback, like he won't pan out or anything like that. But, that just kind of, fueled the fire, I guess I could say. It's just like, it made me, get to where I'm at now, and now I don't want to get complacent. Because as soon as you get complacent and you feel, comfort and stuff like that, those people start to question you again. So I'm just working and keep getting better, keep improving. Like, no matter what people say, I know I'm doing me regardless.
Right. And I mean, I'm not gonna say that because every kid obviously has dreams, and you actually had the tangible dream to play both sports, but did you have a set dream to make it to the NFL from that point, or did you just kind of just let the game come to you and then you just let it just all flow?
As far as playing both, I wasn't really the best at basketball at first, so I kind of had that NFL dream in mind. And then once basketball started becoming a little bit easier for me, I thought about it, here and there. It was like people were telling me, oh, you could probably, do both, or, play basketball in college. But I've always, fell in love with football. I just kind of like the game, the quarterback part, being a leader. That's just kind of part of my personality now, who I am.
Right.
So I'm going to stick with that.
Nice. So, the essence of the creation of basketball was created to, I'm going to throw this little, you know what I mean? So, the game of basketball was actually created to keep football players in shape. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hey.
Nah, it does that. It definitely does. Playing both, it gives me time in the offseason, just let my body take a break, from football movements and things like that. The movements in basketball and how it messes with your ligaments and your, tendons and stuff like that. It's way different than, playing football. Basketball is so much more fast-paced, too. It's a lot of lateral movement. Your conditioning is way different. It just gives me, two different perspectives on how to do things.
Right. Now, the one thing that I do want to commend you for, and I wanted to talk about and kind of get your aspect of how you went about, was the work ethic. So again, like I just told you, I watched you from around 8th grade up until this point, and one thing that's been consistent is the work. Can you kind of talk about the work that you put in to get to this point, like maybe some things that you did that are different from then and now? Like when you were starting then, like maybe you was only running a little bit, but now you're going 4 and 5 miles. Is there like a big difference in the work, or has it always been consistent?
Any obstacles along the way, like kind of like almost slowed you down, but you was like, okay, I'm gonna have to get over this challenge. Yeah.
Going from 8th to 9th grade was, kind of COVID and times like that. I think that's kind of when it clicked for me a little bit. Like I was outside, working out, doing ladder drills and stuff like that by myself, jumping rope, running miles, all that stuff. And then that kind of instilled the work ethic that I needed. So when I got to high school, I really started, getting consistent in my craft. Freshman year, working with quarterback trainers and things like that. Same thing sophomore year, the summer, springtime. Just keep working and keep getting better. Because I didn't want to get complacent, and I could see the improvements happening. So when you see progress, that makes you go, oh, I want to keep going. Like it's kind of like I guess like a euphoric feeling when you see like, oh, my progress is paying off. Well, let's not stop here. Let's continue.
That's real.
Yeah, them hot long days start to pay off. You're like, all right, you be looking forward to going back outside in the heat.
Nah, facts. I can't wait. Get back out there in the spring, summer, because it's not even like a workout at this point. I'm just out there having fun, getting better, doing what I love, which is playing football. Like, I can't wait to work out.
Right.
When we hit in the field, all right, cool, I'm there. Like, especially driving now.
You gotta go get the run. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
I'm a football guy. Football is my first sport. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like that 11th grade going to like senior year in high school for me was like all spring, whatever. I just want to play 7-on-7 as much field work as possible. Get me out there. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I'm trying to see all the different people that I'm gonna be playing against. I want to play against everybody. Gotta go at everybody.
Yeah. Only way to get better is to play against the best. Iron sharpens iron, all that stuff. So working out, some guys from around the area who are really good, like that just makes me better as a player.
Who do you consider as some of the better players around the area? That motivate you to be better?
Nah, it's a lot of names I can throw out there, because I don't want to leave anybody off, to be honest. But my guy Mike, SFA, he always does his thing. We worked out a bunch of times together. My guy Denzel, he's up at DeMatha. We've worked out a bunch. Even some older guys, this kid Jaden, who was up at Maryland. Guy Noah Brannick, he's down at William and Mary. A lot of the older guys push me to be better. because I see what they're doing and seeing their success and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, well, let's keep chasing it. I'm a competitor, so it's like if I feel like somebody's better than me at something, all right, that's cool for right now. But I'm gonna find my way to to get better than you at it, whatever it is.
That's why I was asking you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see who was out there in your mind. Like, okay,
yeah, like who pushes the needle for you.
Who pushes the needle for you. Yeah.
And to be honest, even guys like across the country, the rankings and stuff come out, I see it, and I've worked out, some of those guys. I'm throwing next to some of those guys. I'm like, yeah, they're not better than that.
Okay.
But that's cool. We gonna let them have their little ranking and stuff like that, and we're just gonna keep pushing and give them no choice but to see like, oh, when somebody goes number one in the draft, well, I mean, I guess the rankings didn't really mean nothing, huh? Because it's like, hey, we up here now.
Hey,
Show
man.
and prove, right?
Hey, show and prove, like my man just said. That's all it's about right there.
100%.
And again, I'm that whole ideology and not worrying about the rankings or none of that. That's what I like to hear. I'm not worried about none of that, especially when you know that you went on the field, been next to this quarterback, and you can't throw with me. So that I like to hear that attitude, man. That's what's up.
To be honest with me, it's like, anybody in the country, you name them, I feel like, hey, let's go throw for throw. Let's go. Like, why not?
Right.
I mean, if you prove that you're better than me, that's cool. Give me some time, I'll come right back. Let's do it again. Like,
right.
I feel like that's fun for me. It's just to keep improving, keep getting better. And the only way to do that is to work out with people that they say are better than you.
For sure.
Or you feel like, all right, I can learn something from this guy over here. Older, younger, anything like that. Everybody got something to teach you.
Mm-hmm.
The records and individual stuff. Like you play the right way with the team, that'll come anyways. Like I could care less. You feel me? Like my first time getting all the stuff, it was very cool. Don't get me wrong. Like I loved it. But now it's to the point where it's like I just want to put on for my guys. If we go out here and win another championship, that's 3 in a row in Maryland. Now people are forced to look like, hey, like they, we got put on the map a little bit. My freshman year, sophomore year even more, last year even more because we played those national teams and stuff like that. And now it's like, well, I want to put us like really on the map. Like when you think of Maryland football, you think of Archbishop, Spalding, you think of DeMatha and St. John's and stuff like that. Like I need our name to be up there.
Mm-hmm. No, that's facts.
For sure.
You got one?
No, that was really gonna be my next. Like, what is left on the to-do list for Malik Washington?
Mm-hmm.
Win another one. I kind of want to win one in basketball too. Trying to get me one in basketball. Haven't won in some years. Got to hit one in basketball. But yeah, go get another one. Have a great season. Have fun. Of course, like you said, it's my last year, which is crazy to think about. I feel like I just started.
Right.
I know. Everybody says it. It's like, it flies by. Like
That's why
it
you
really
gotta,
does.
Embrace it while it's happening, because it goes by like this.
And I'm just thinking back to like freshman year when we had COVID workouts and stuff like that, and we doing push-ups 6 feet apart because we can't be next to each other. And like taking all that in, all that like preparation, those obstacles and stuff like that, kind of prepared us for the team we are now. Coach is really big on preparation, so it's like when stuff gets when going gets tough, it's like you fall back to your habits. You don't have to rise to the occasion. So our preparation and how we, do things through our practice, if we're doing the right things in practice, ball security, stuff like that. The little drills, that's what comes into play during the games. It's not, he's just going to have to make a spontaneous play. Nah, like we do this all the time.
Right. Yeah, Man, listen, I know one thing I definitely wanted to talk about was, and I know I keep going back to it, but it's the team that you played for before you came to high school. I think, how many of y'all right now
are Division I football players, or potentially Division I football
like prospects
players.
to be going to playing Division I or high level football right now?
Because if I could count, we got Max, we got RJ's committed, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got
Ivy was at JMU. He probably gonna end up somewhere. He's in Porter right now, but he probably gonna end up
JMU. Okay,
Division I place. Neo was on
Neo.
team before. Yeah.
We got some guys.
It was crazy.
We got some guys.
I mean, looking at it now, you're looking at it, and it's like, wow, man. You looking around, it's like all these guys. How do you feel about that, man? And
I couldn't be happier. Those are my guys since day one. When people were doubting me and stuff like that, they were rocking with me. They had no issue with me being their quarterback. We've been friends for however long. I just kind of grew up with them, and to see, everybody kind of achieve their goal of becoming, a Division I football player or playing football at any level, whatever it is. It makes me happy, like seeing my guys win. Like I'm really proud of my guys and happy for them.
Okay.
Those bonds that will last forever, man. Like you can't, and it's memories that will last forever. You're gonna be 40 years old talking about, hey, remember we was up Brooklyn Park and we had,
That's how we even talk about it now. It's like being up there, on a homecoming, you get there at 8 a.m. to watch the AU game, and you don't leave that field till 9 p.m. The last game was at 3, but you up there forever.
Forever.
What we on the hill, playing throw up tackle after our game in the back of the end zone. Like
all the energy in the world.
All the
having
energy.
no energy in the game. Somehow I
What?
got all the energy. So
after the game, you know, snack shack, whatever it is,
Yeah.
play basketball. Yeah.
Basketball, everything.
We just having fun.
Nah,
and
for sure.
I look back and it's just like those were really like, you know, we ain't had no worries or anything like that. I think that's why we just had so much fun with it. We weren't worried about anything but, you know, playing the next game, winning that, you know, youth championship. That's when it was really like, I feel like football was at its purest. It was like when we were just little. We was out there, half of us ain't know what was going on.
Yeah.
We weren't overthinking or anything like that. We were just like, we're kids, let's have fun, let's go play.
Who were your favorite players at that point? Football
Like-
wise.
Yeah, who'd you look up to as like
Growing up,
as a kid? Yeah.
my favorite like football player ever was Johnny Manziel when he was at A&M. I probably watched that Johnny Manziel highlight tape about a million times. Him, you know, the Tavon Austin highlight tape, I watched that a billion times. I watched that jump before every game.
Now listen,
Classic.
Tavon Austin in our era of coming up through high school, the best high school player ever.
No, facts.
No
A
question.
lot of people have seen the college tape, but if you
The
go
high
look at
school-
his DeMar tape,
Oh my goodness!
Just
And
crazy.
to have seen it in person,
yeah,
man.
crazy.
See, now, the thing about that is funny, too, that highlight tape that you watch, that's when digital sports was around.
Just starting, yeah.
I wish you got social media now. You feel what I'm saying? You got social media, so you can kind of get all of that stuff out there. But back then, digital sports was our Instagram story, our reels.
That's how you saw it.
That was like the biggest thing
was,
in the world.
It was ESPN
Around the way.
Around here. Around
Yeah.
the way was ESPN. If you got on digital sports,
So when his tape came out, back then, the footage and all the graphics was the same as they is on it now. It was terrible. Terrible graphics looking at it now, but we watch that every day, almost every day. It was crazy. But yeah, so Tavon, you said Tavon, Johnny Manziel.
Cam Newton, I really like. Marcus Mariota at Oregon, I really like. Those are probably the main ones, for real.
Yeah.
You know, who kind of set the trend, you know, of me playing quarterback too. Because of course I played quarterback before I saw them and stuff like that, but they made it look so fun.
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Now,
That's a good batch of guys.
oh yeah,
Manziel,
definitely.
That was my.
It sounded like Manziel was your guy. That's what it sounded like to me.
Manziel was my guy.
He was out there like this, putting the money signs
I'm
up.
trying. If NIL was around when Johnny was around,
Yeah, he would
made-
have been cool.
He would have
Yeah.
made bread.
Oh my gosh. He definitely would have made a lot
Oh,
of bread.
what? Would he?
Yeah, man.
Because his whole
So-
thing was money. Like that's his whole
Yeah,
persona was
yeah,
like money.
Yeah.
He'd have made crazy. I mean, he was already making. You saw in the documentary.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
already making
If
crazy.
you
You
bro.
know what he was
if
doing.
you watch the documentary,
Yeah.
but they was making tons off of him though.
For sure.
Facts. Nah, the school was, you know, selling the jerseys without his name on it. Like people knew who jersey that is.
For sure. Yeah.
And looking back, it didn't make sense.
Right.
But it's-
Long process. It's over now.
But it was long overdue.
Yeah, for sure. Now, speaking of that aspect of it, without even going too much into that aspect, college-wise, right? How was it when you first started getting your first influx of letters? Was that like
yeah.
one of the most gratifying moments that
Yeah,
you've ever
it was.
had?
Actually, it's a drawer right there.
Oh, I ain't even look. Yeah, I know. It's right there.
The drawer's
Halfway
right
up,
there.
Can't even close.
You can't close the drawer.
Right.
Yeah, you know, starting off because you always see it like the pictures and stuff. I remember the picture of the dude in like his bathtub when he had like all the letters filled out and he was chilling.
Yeah.
I was like, I kind of want to recreate the picture now. But I'm very grateful. Once again, very grateful, very blessed,
Right.
to be in the spot that I'm in, and I don't want to let it, get to my head too much at the end of the day. But it's cool to have. I really appreciate all the coaches and all the teams that sending stuff out to me. I looked when I first started getting them, I was opening and like every single one, I was reading through them. And now it's just like I appreciate like if it's a handwritten letter, I read through it, but like the graphics and stuff, I kind of stopped opening.
Right.
But yeah, I'm very, very appreciative of those.
Right. I just wanted to know that because, we got a bunch of different listeners, both young and old. So the younger guys that's listening to this, all the letters started coming and the work never stopped.
Yeah, no,
You
in
feel
fact,
what I'm saying?
that if anything, that made me work even harder.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, all right, well, I got them. I got to show them why I got them. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, yeah, they saw a little bit, and a lot of coaches, that was their message. Like, hey, we saw you got some real natural talent. You can fine tune some things. All right, cool. Say less, coach.
Right.
There were some schools, where it was like, you went there and felt like I wasn't good enough for them at that point, which, I understand completely. I'm going to just show you why. Feel me?
Right.
Like, if I end up playing you, that's cool. I'm going to show you why. Remember, I wasn't good enough for you. That's cool.
Yeah.
You just lost to me.
Yeah,
I guess I'm still not
exactly.
good enough
Yeah,
for you.
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. I like that right
Yeah,
there.
it is what it is. At the end of the day, you're recruiting. Like it's a difficult thing to do. It's a difficult thing to go through. Like of course the process is fun and stuff like that, but all the decisions that eventually have to be made and the ties you have to bonds you have to build and ties you have to cut. It all leads down to one thing, and it's just you're gonna go where you're gonna go, bro. Don't be disrespectful to anybody or anything like that. You know, appreciate every coach that, you know, reaches out to you. Yeah, that's really it. Just take it all in, because you only go through it once. Like when you get to college, NFL teams aren't recruiting you.
Right.
They're saying, hey, we got you. Come on, you going with us. Like, no matter where you're going. So enjoy it. That's all I'm trying to do now, is just enjoy it. Like, I know at any moment it can be taken away, you know, just like that. You know, God forbid, but one injury, it's all done. It could be all over. And it's like, well, who are you without that? And I know me as a person, I'm still gonna be the, you know, kind, gentle-hearted person that I am. You know, I still want to be a humble person or whatever I do. So that's why I don't really let it get to me, because it's like, I know who I am. I knew who I was before it. I know who I'm gonna be after it, because one day the ball gonna stop spinning. Facts. And it's just like, well, who are you now? And I'm gonna be Malik.
Right. When you made your announcement with your top 6, was there any one consistency within them top 6 schools that stood out, like one major thing between all of those 6 that stood out between all of the other ones that sticks out to you? Was it one main thing?
A lot of those programs are on the right path, you know what I mean? And they're a couple players away from, you know, really getting over that hump that they want to get over. And a lot of it starts with, you know, the quarterback position. You bring in a good quarterback, you can do a lot, you know, for a team. And a lot of those teams have good culture too, or they're building their good culture now, you know. And culture is a huge, important part of football that people don't really realize. Like, you got to have good people in your program to have a good program. Like, if you have dudes who are there for the wrong reasons, your team's not going to work out. You can't just put together a bunch of, you know, quote-unquote superstars and like, oh, well, we're just going to make it out. You're going to make it. Yeah, you're going to figure it out. You need those guys on scout team. You need those guys who are going to, you know, love to be on special teams and stuff like that. Like, you need those guys to make your program work. And a lot of those schools have that, you know, those guys who are willing to sacrifice themselves and, you know, just be a part of the team just because they love football.
Facts, bro.
Definitely in the football, that's a big part. The team, like, more than anything, you have to have a complete package. You get what I'm saying? To be a successful team program, for sure.
Big locker room. A lot of personalities.
Hey,
totally different than basketball. I don't know how y'all deal with that. Then y'all got 2 different sides of the
because
ball.
we all you come together for one main goal. The goal is what drives you together. You know what I'm saying?
And it's just like, I know they got my back. You know, I know my defense got my back. Defense know I got their back. It was a point in the game we went down against Concordia. I just threw a pick 6, and we was down like 9, like 2 minutes left. And, you know, of course I'm mad at myself, because I'm like, why would I throw that? You know, I'm all these thoughts, whatever. And my guy Jaden comes up and plays defense. He's like, yo, you got it, bro. I ain't worried. And I was like, oh, you know what? You're right. I got it. And we went down the field. We scored onside kick, field goal. You know, rest is history. And that, you know, that little moment right there, like, he didn't even say that many words. He said, hey, you got it. That's all he had to say. And I'm thinking in my head, like, you know, I'm all out of it. I'm all out of whack. I'm upset. And it just kind of calmed me down and gave me the realization, like, yo, these dudes trust me. Like, I got to show them why they trust me. And those are my guys on defense. As much as we, you know, fight and bicker and stuff like that in practice, oh, that was a flag, that's not a flag. Stop being soft.
Yeah.
But then when we get to the game and I see my guy make a play, I'm, you know, first one cheering, and we run out to the field, you know, high fives and all that stuff. And I feel like they appreciate that as much as I do. You know, the competitiveness in practice. There's some practice where we are going at it. Like, we basically like live. And it's, you know, practice is the second period of practice, and we going at it just because that's how we get better.
That's
exactly how you get better.
That's how we get better. It's just, you know, going at it with one another. Because the best defense I'm going to play is the defense that I see every single day in practice. And the best offense they're going to play is the offense that they see every single day in practice. Especially when they know what I'm doing and I know what they're doing. And we can still manage to beat each other. It's like, it is what it is.
No, that's a fact, man. All right, man. Before I get out of here, first of all, like, I want to echo what Trey was saying. I want to say, first of all, I'm very, very proud of you for just your humility and how personable you are to people in general. Just your spirit is very pure, and you keeping that kind spirit. I mean, it's kind in a good way. People might look at it as like he's a kind person. He might not have a dog. No, you're a kind beast. You know what I'm saying?
I have a story that's just like random. Like, I don't even know if I told you this, right? So I referee little kids, like 3rd or 4th graders, girls and boys, right? So I'm refereeing the little girls one weekend, and I was talking to one of the moms or whatever, and she was talking about her team was from out Odenton, Crofton area, whatever. And she was like, yeah, I was at the Spalding football game the other day or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, one of my boys played the quarterback up there or whatever. She's like, oh, Malik? I was just like, yeah, you know Malik? She's like, oh my God. Her daughter's name is Finn. She was like,
Finn, that's my guy.
She said, oh my God, that's my best friend.
Yeah,
Malik is my best friend.
I love Finn. I love.
Shout out to Finn.
She's the coolest kid. She's the coolest kid you'll ever meet.
Shout out to Finn. For sure. I definitely used to referee Finn's basketball games. And then one day, her mom told me something. Malik did something in one of the basketball games. It was one of these past seasons. She was out there practicing the move that he did. I was just like, this is crazy.
Nah,
but
Finn, like, she's really the coolest kid you ever meet. You know, she's like that too. She got some stuff to her. She got a little chip on her shoulder.
She got some dog in her.
Yeah, she got some dog. I've seen it. You know,
she's spicy on the court,
playing against the guys.
Yeah,
and she came to our basketball camp. That's how I met her. And her mom helped coach. And they came to our basketball camp, and she was playing against the 8-10-year-old boys, and she's however old, she's a little girl. She was giving them boys the blues. Hey, Finn was giving them boys the blues, and I'm like, okay, Finn. Like she's talking her stuff too. I'm like, I let her see it. You know, she gonna grow up to be something one day.
Shout out to Finn for sure.
Shout out Finn.
But again, that just speaks to exactly what I was saying. Like, there's so many of those encounters, just like with Junior and even with Jackson and Angelo. Before I came here, they like make sure I tell you hello, and it's because they look up to you. They actually see a person that's a real role model in their life, that's tangible, that's not like shut off to the world and not really a robot or anything. And that's why I really respect how you're carrying it and how you're going about the whole process. And I want you to keep it going and stay motivated, find self-motivation. You know, keep continuing to find self-motivation. I already know you're motivated and I know your goals as to what you want to do. But I just wanted to formally tell you that I was proud of you.
Definitely.
And to keep it going. And before we get out of here, I always ask everybody this question. We built this show, it's called The Gift is Free, and it's based on the fact that everybody is born with a gift, but it's all about what you're going to do to separate yourself. What is it that you can give to the next person, to the next kid, or maybe the next up and coming quarterback? What is it that you can give to them to show them how to separate themselves? Maybe just whether it's even in the classroom or just how they go about their life, or in the sport, just anything in general.
Mine would probably be, going throughout life. Kindness goes a long way. Like, you may not realize it, but you're going through a fast food place and you're talking to a fast food worker and you're like, hey man, like, you having a good day? You're like, yeah man, thanks for asking. Like, little stuff like that goes a really long way. Like, people remember things like that. And that's like the best gift you can give to people is being kind to them. Somebody might be having a really bad day. You're just like, hey man, I like your shoes. And little stuff like that, it'll change his whole day, make it like really, like, they'll remember that moment for a long time. And that's all I really wanted to do, was just make sure, like, I'm kind to people, I'm nice to people. And I always wanted to be a people person. I feel like being a people person just helps you in life a lot, building connections. You don't got to be the most social, but when you are around people and you're laughing, you're talking and having fun, like, that's how you build those relationships, those connections that can lead to more. So my gift is just be kind, bro. Like, you have no need to be shut off and antisocial and, I just don't like people. Like, I'm not gonna get anywhere like that. And life is no fun like that. Like, I can ask around, like, people who've done that, like, they're like, yeah, bro, I don't like it. Like, it's no fun like that. Like, the best way to live life is to be kind. So that's my gift.
All right, man. Here, like I said, one of the most special guests we've ever had.
For sure, all around.
Totally enjoyed this interview, man. Again, I want to say thank you for taking the time. I know you're very busy. It's definitely a school night, so we got to get you out of here so you can get back to business. And signing off real quick, man. Of course, we want to say for Trey and for myself, remember the gift is free. It's all about what you're going to do to separate yourself. And see y'all next time, man.
Appreciate it.
All right.